So our main card, we have 3 very good fights before we get to our last 2. You know? So, yes, people, we get things rocking with the flyweights. We have Tim Elliott against Kai Asakura, which is, man, this is good, right? This is very good. Kai Asakura, he got a title fight in his first fight in the UFC. You know, he's 31, 5'8", 69-inch reach, 21-5 record overall. Right, so yeah, you know, former rising champion. He went 13-3 there, but he couldn't get past Alexandra Pantoja, who just put it on him, essentially, you know. But outside the UFC, in Risen, you know, he got some impressive wins, you know, 2 back-to-back knee knockouts, you know. Ground and pound, he's got soccer kicks, submissions, you know, he can do it all. You know, he's that kind of fighter. And he's unorthodox, which is interesting because he's going up against Mr. Hergy-Gurky, Tim Elliott, right? Who is 38. He's 5'7", and he's got a 66-inch reach. He's got a 20-13-1 record, coming off a win in his last fight, right? In the UFC, he's 9-11. But that doesn't really say it all, you know? Doesn't say it all. So last time out, he beat Somajaji, arm triangle in the first round. But that was December 2023. And it's like, I didn't realize it had been that long, to be honest with you. I did not realize it had been that long. You know, he gave Chimaev a good fight, right? As well, you know, just succumbing to an arm triangle in the 3rd round. But Elliott, he is, as I said, very unorthodox. Like, came to the UFC via the Ultimate Fighter and fought Demetrius Johnson, you know, for the title in his first fight. Right, he lost, but he put on a good showing. Did put on a decent showing. You know, he's fought Brandon Royville, Askar Askarov, Davidson Figueiredo. Yeah, you know, he's fought a lot of very good fighters. Very good fighters. Been in the UFC since 2016, right? So, that is the thing, right? But he's been in wars as well. And I think the gap, right, not fighting for so long, there's not going to be that same familiarity to the process, as it were. So I think Elliott's a very good fighter. And I think a fresh Elliott definitely puts on a good show against Kai Asakura. But Elliott coming off of such a, you know, absence, I think Kai Asakura takes this win. So we then have our last middleweight fight before the main event. It is Jared Cannonier against Michael Page. Woo! Boy, oh boy. This is interesting. Great matchmaking. Both coming off wins. Right? Michael Venom Page. He's 23-3. Coming off a win, as I said. And overall, he's 2-1 in the UFC. Right? He went 17-2 in Bellator. We saw him beat Shara Bullet last time out, inflicted Shara's first loss in the UFC. Yeah, and looked very impressive doing it. right? That was February this year. Beat Carlos Condon in a grappling match, right? He did lose to Ian Machado Gary, but it wasn't a blowout or anything like that. Got a win over Kevin Holland in his UFC debut. He is unorthodox. You know, that's the thing with Page. But with that karate style, boom, he's up. He will dart in and land. Now, I don't think we've seen him hit his best yet in the UFC. You know, when you watch some of his Bellator fights, when he put it together, it was impressive. And we haven't seen him hit that yet. And I think this is the perfect opponent for him to do that. Jared Cannonier, the killer gorilla, is 41, 5'11", 77.5-inch reach. He's 18-8 overall. Right? He is 11-8 in the UFC. Now, he got that impressive win over Gregory Rodriguez last time out, and it looked like he was done in that first round, you know? So that was a very good win for him. But we have seen him, you know what I mean, get clipped, get put upon. Like Carl Barrio, like basically just, you know, dominated that fight. Nazardine Imanov. Now, you can say that was an early stoppage, but he did get rocked. You know, he did get rocked, and by a shot that wasn't necessarily the biggest in the world. You know, and I think that's the thing with Cannonier. We have seen him start to degrade when it comes to the chin. Right? Start getting rocked more often. Yeah, and I think that is the issue. Now, he's been in there with killers, right? Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland, Marvin Vettori, right? Derek Brunson, Kelvin Gastelum, Jack Hermanson, Anderson Silva, right? Dominic Reyes, Jan Blachowicz, Glover Teixeira. I think the other thing with Cannonier, he has fought heavyweight, light heavyweight, right? Now middleweight. And I think all of those things also take their toll on the body, you know? So, I think there's that. And throughout his career, we have seen Cannonier in fights just not throw enough, right? We've seen those periods of inactivity from him. And I think that, right, that is going to allow Page to get inside and land in volume. You know what I mean? And I think it's also going to freeze Cannonier up a bit more as well, the fear of that happening. So I think, yes, Cannonier could win this fight. He's got heavy hands, right? Cannonier is no joke. But when you factor in, you know what I mean, those, you know, quiet moments of Cannonier, right? The hesitancy. You take in his recent proclivity to being clipped. I think all of those things just indicate Michael Venom Page taking a win here. And so, yeah, I'm taking Page for the win. So our featured bout, we get to the welterweights, right? Which I do believe, oh no, we had one from the Ultimate Fighter. but only our second welterweight fight of the night, right? And we have Geoff Neal against Carlos Prates. Very good fight. Very good fight. Yes, indeedy, people. All right, so what have we got? The Nightmare, Carlos Prates. Right, he's 31, 6'1", 78-inch reach. He's 21-7, coming off a loss, right? And that was the fight against Ian Machado Gary, which he did take on short notice. You know? Did take that on short notice. He's 4-1 in the UFC, went 2-0 in LFA, came via the Contender Series. Yeah, and before the Gary fight, he'd been looking good, right? Stopped Neil Magny, stopped Li Zhanglang, stopped Carlos Radke, Trevin Giles. You know, he has been looking very good. He's explosive, right? He can put it together. He punches in bunches. And so he's going up against Geoff Neal. Geoff, hands of steel. Neal. Right, he's 34, 5'11", 75-inch reach. He's 16-6, coming off a win, right? Coming off a win. He's 8-4 in the UFC. Went 1-0 in LFA. Came also via the Contender Series. And he beat Rafael das Anjos last time out. Well, Rafael got a leg injury, you know. He did lose to Ian Machado Gary. It was a split, but it wasn't. Like, it's one of them ones where you're just like, that wasn't a split decision, man. Now, he wasn't terrible. It's just he didn't throw enough, you know. And that is the problem of Neal at times. He doesn't, a bit like Cannonier, he can be inactive, you know. He got finished by Shavkat Rakhmonov. And he did miss weight in that fight. Hey, he got great stop it, like Ponzinibbio stopped him. I think Lupe, you know. He's had some very good fights. Like knocked out Mike Perry back in the day. Nico Price. Good win over Bilal Muhammad. Right? Frank Camacho. Man, he had some very good wins, you know? Very good wins. But as I said, he doesn't always throw a lot. You know? He's got heavy hands, but he doesn't let them fly. Right? And then when he does, it can be just single shots. Single shots. And if you are fighting someone like Prates, you need to be throwing in volume. You need to be keeping that pressure on. And I don't know if Neal is going to be able to do that. You know? I don't know. Like, the dos Anjos fight was October last year. You know? So it's just one of them things where it's just like, I think if he was fighting more regularly, maybe he's in that flow state, he's confident, and he's able to do what he needs to do. But we see at times with Saif Saad, like just being Geoff, throw more, push forward, do your thing, you know? We see that. So I think Carlos Prates, I think the nightmare is a nightmare on Saturday night, yeah? And gets that big win back on track and looks good against Geoff Neal. I'm taking Carlos Prates, people. And this is a great fight to take us to, right, these big momentous fights at the end of the card, right, the co-main event.